Oh, hello there, how you all doing? Say hello, Will.
It's really hot.
It's really hot today. Yeah, it is, yeah.
It's
lovely.
It's boiling.
Yeah, lovely, warm. Sat in the shade.
It's almost summer.
Kind of no trace though. Like a big building over there.
Yeah, big.
Yeah, summer, isn't it?
Yeah.
Anyway, there's a massive indicator of when you know that a psyop is in play. And that's a high amount of emotionality behind it. It forces you to take a side. Relinquishes your mind from any concepts of nuance or objectivity. Quite often fizzle out with no conclusion. And you have a habit being a recurring theme. What does that sound like? So, this will be no surprise to anyone. Today we're going to talk about that little sliver of land in the Middle East that's currently at war with a slightly bigger piece of land in the Middle East. This next episode, of my Gladio series, was going to be on Turkey, but with that situation, it's kind of showing pretty much all the aspects of what the Gladio program actually is in real time. The two leaders of these countries are very unpopular, with not very much support. Netanyahu on one side, Ayatollah Khomeini on the other side. And both of them, Leany. Do you want to get on camera or something?
You have a new shirt.
I have a new shirt, yeah. Anyway, back to Gladio. Or rather, these two little nations in the Middle East. Both of them have very low poll ratings, much like Starmer does here in the UK. But both of these men have one thing in common that no one's actually batted an eyelid about. And this is, they both have a CIA connection. Brief history, I've done this before, but when Mossadegh won't play ball in Iran during the 1950s, the CIA helped the Shah topple him and installed the Shah. It was very friendly to the West. And this relationship lasted quite some time. It was quite a good relationship. Until the Shah decided he was going to do something for his people instead, rather than for American interests. And as soon as he did that, and stopped playing ball, immediately the CIA started, and MI6 started plotting this coup, his overthrow. And the Ayatollah was installed. Contrary to popular belief, Ayatollah Khomeini is a Western intelligence asset. He's a puppet of the West. Both himself and the Israeli president are willing tools and are there to instill chaos in the region, to keep oil prices low and to act as a convenient distraction when necessary. Only brought out in special circumstances, when it's really, really got to the point where they need a major distraction to divide people. The entirety of Netanyahu's government all the bureaucracies, much like it is here, over here in the US and in the UK. The permanent bureaucracy behind these democratically elected leaders are the real power behind every government, because they're permanent positions, unlike a president that's fleeting in a way. Presidents and prime ministers act as a mouthpiece, as a face for the regime. That's about it. They don't really have any sort of say in the decision-making process. So, again, contrary to popular belief, Israel also has its own deep state, which is tied to, would you believe it, Western intel. Now, most of you, shall we start wondering, Most of you watching this, all probably 20 of you, are either on the right or on the left. If you're on the left, you probably hate watching me. If you're on the right, you probably hate watching me, because I don't tend to sit on either side. More of a right-leaning centrist, I think. So I sort of bounce between the two. Anyway. Most people, even on the right, settle into two camps. Those that are for Israel, those that are against Israel. The ones who are against Israel, 90% of the time, blame the Jews for everything. Those for Israel blame the rest of the world for persecuting Israel and Jews. But they're not the problem. October of 2023, I've mentioned this countless times, right?
Jeez.
Oh yeah, I mentioned this countless times. Everyone, no matter where they were from, what religion they were, what flavour of ice cream they liked, everyone was beginning to unify against the system. And when that happened, all of a sudden, Israel takes the bold step of being attacked by the Palestinians. By Hamas, should I say, not the Palestinians, are two separate things. But Hamas had the audacity to attack them with paragliders and killed 3,000 of them, 3,000 Jews. Hamas, again contrary to popular belief, are a CIA, MI6 and Mossad invention. This was to divide everyone, because they knew they could divide people down this one line. You're either for Palestine or against Palestine. You're either for Israel or against Israel. There was no in between. There never is, you'll notice. There never is an in between point. You have to be on one side or the other. Everybody, well, not enough everybody, fell for it. And people like me, and there were many others, turning around and saying, this is bollocks, what are you doing? We're getting called Nazis on one side, anti-Semites on the other, and racist. The usual variant of Istonistophobe. Hello. Oh, tiny doggy. This worked for a good long while. So the Palestinian protest started. They kind of pushed it too far. Because then people started getting annoyed, especially us in the West. Started to notice things. Like they were getting away with a heck of a lot. Whereas people that consider themselves patriots weren't. It was a heavy-handed approach with us. This started to make the idea of immigration, or uncontrolled immigration, less and less palatable in the minds of most people, most of the native populations. It's bred resentment, hatred. Then Trump came along and basically had it in his head that he was going to deport all of these people. And the regime realised that support for this idea, and for him, irrespective of all the warfare that they made against him, which is something else we'll get to, was making him far more popular.
I'm sweating.
You're sweating, I know, it's hot, isn't it? And they realised that they won't be able to rig the election like they could last time, so they let him win. Or rather, the plan went ahead, should I say. See, all this warfare was to make him look like the underdog again. Make him look like the embattled warrior of the people. It worked. He got an almost Christ-like persona, but it worked a little too well. For Gladio, the destabilisation of America is integral to the plan. They've already destabilised the other main power in the world, which is here in the UK. Like it or not, I don't care what you say, you can shout bollocks all you want, right? But it's the way it is. So, the plan was to make these immigrants out as being the poor, embattled immigrants that are being persecuted by a Hitler-like figure. And as soon as he started deporting them, leftists came out in dribbles. Soon became apparent that more people were in favour of Trump deporting these people than I think they first realised. And were actually spurring him on and giving him their support. And they realised the plan was failing. So, in fact, the plan was failing so badly that the MAGA base was at something like 79% in favour of Trump's deportations, and even the Democrats that were polled were like 69%, 59%.
69.
69, I know, yeah. So, again, the deep state realised they had a problem. So how are they going to split that line down the middle again? They play the Trump card. Excuse the pun. You get Israel to attack Iran. This single act, again, not only made a split down the left and the right, but also down the MAGA base. The Trump support base.
Hey.
Because now, his voter base has to pick a side. This entire war is causing an almost political civil war on the right in America. It's severely weakening them. And yet again, everyone's falling for it. Israel is a tool of the West, they're not in control. Jews are a scapegoat, sometimes willing, but they aren't in control. The people controlling the world at the tip of the spear have used an evolved version of the Gladio program that started during World War II to exert their will over everybody. Almost every single leader on the planet, world leader on the planet, is a Gladio asset or is being coerced in some way by the Gladio program in the background. All of them are CIA or MI6 and Mossad in some cases. What are you doing? Making funny faces behind me. Little poo head. Many of you are going to turn around and say, it's the Jews, it's the Jews. People like Ian Carroll and Candice Owens who haven't really got a brain cell between them. I had high hopes for Ian, I really did. He screwed it up. Tit. And now he's gone down the Jew hatred route, or it's the Jews that are in control route. He keeps using the Mossad connection a lot, without actually considering where Mossad comes from, and Shin Bet, who is the other side of Mossad, well, the Israeli intelligence, shall we say. It's very rarely touted. Obviously, you've got several others, just like everywhere else, the UK and the US, but it was us Brits that set them up, just like we set the CIA up. NSA. Our military intelligence is the oldest in the world, and everyone uses our model. And their intelligence infrastructure is modelled on ours as well, because it's the oldest, next to the Vatican. So to say that Israel and Israeli intelligence has a stranglehold on the world is bullshit. People talk about AIPAC, the Jewish lobby that pays off all the politicians in the Congress and the Senate in America and in the UK. Where does AIPAC's funding come from? You trace it back, you'll realise it comes from USAID. Why does it come from USAID? Because it comes straight from the CIA and MI6. AIPAC is a slush fund. It's a way of laundering money and paying off politicians to keep on laundering money. Something many of you probably haven't even considered. The Jews don't run the world. Israel doesn't run the world. It's a multinational, multi-ethnic, multi-faith and multi-tentacled machine born out of the intelligence services of the West, US and UK particularly. And the people behind them are thousands of years old European royal bloodlines and black nobility. And if you don't know what either of them are, or don't understand what I'm talking about, start looking at history. Not the bullshit history that these Tartar retards keep floating about and everything else. I mean, actual real history. You know, the stuff that's documented and has been for, again, thousands of years. You'll start to realise this is a pattern. One that keeps recurring. We keep getting built up, all these countries keep getting rich, then all of a sudden the whole financial system collapses and the scapegoat is blamed and they're all killed off. The same's happening again. Each time they've used either the Jews, the Catholics, Protestants, Templars, you name it. There's always a scapegoat, and then when the dust settles, those same people come back again because you're never identifying them. They're never identified. You can see them in play, you can see what they're doing, but most people just ignore that. Especially with Jews in Israel at the minute, because it's easy. This game, I've been doing this 35 years, and it's never easy, and it's never simple, until it is. If we can't get a grip, if we can't see the wood from the trees, and we keep going down this route of being pro or con Israel, we're not going to survive. We're not going to beat these people. So like I said at the beginning, you always know it's a psyop when it forces you to pick a side, forces you into a highly emotional response, and is a constantly recurring theme. That is a Gladio playbook. I'm going to be doing a podcast with a guy called Chris Thrall in a couple of weeks. I don't know if you've ever heard of him. Nice bloke, ex-army. We're going to be talking about the history of the actual elite circles, because he was blown away when I told him what the score was. He was like, makes total sense. The world is ruled by deception. It's why I call the entire system at the top the deception industrial complex, because that is what it is. That is its goal. To deceive, obfuscate, and divide. And that's always been the ethos behind what was once the Gladio program and is now the DIC. Anyway, I think it's going to be my last video for a while. Like I said, I'll be doing that podcast with Chris Thrall in a couple of weeks. Well, yeah, what do you say? Right.
Like, share, subscribe, you know the drill. Black Ops.
See you later.